Okay, hello everyone, good evening, hope you can all hear me. So this is me. It might not look like it from the picture, but it is actually Scotland, where I lived and studied and worked for most of my life in different ways with data pretty much all the time. I've been at multiple different companies of different sizes, from startups of 10 people to Microsoft with hundreds of thousands of people. And currently I'm at Moneytree here in Tokyo, Japan, which is a fintech startup. So this story happened a long time ago when I was a fresh graduate, straight out of uni, wide-eyed and bushy-tailed. And I was working at this compliance audit, checking that things that should talk to each other, but they don't talk to anything else in case something goes wrong. And basically the idea was that I was going through what can talk to what. And in our infrastructure back then, we had two pipelines. One was for APAC, which was talking from Singapore to our office in Scotland. And another one, it's called FuckUp Nights for a reason, right? And the other one for the rest of the world, so EMEA, which was talking from Frankfurt to our office. And while I was going through what can talk to what, there was something talking to the system from East US. So I talked with people, asked around, did due diligence, and everyone was like, no, that's not right. So I did not delete it. I declined anything that it could do. So instead of deleting the permission, I said, ignore anything from this address, which turned out to be a good thing because our APAC infrastructure actually looked something like this. There were 4 parts, 3 of which were in Singapore, 1 of which was in US East, because when they were building the Singapore infrastructure, some of the functionality was not supported in Singapore. So what happened when I deleted this bit? It was not good. Imagine the figurative red lights coming on. There was a company-wide issue of hands off the keyboard, no one touch anything. We're cut off from all of APAC. And everyone was like, what happened? What's happening? I was there, scared out of my mind, going, I denied this little thing here. And I was like, revert it. And this is where not deleting it came really into play, thankfully, because it only thankfully took 47 minutes to revert the error. But when I was researching it later for the post-mortem and explanation of what happened, it turns out that in those 47 minutes, we lost more money than I made in a year back then. But this is where the learnings come in. And the company was a big proponent of blameless culture, which is great, because that was what allowed me back then to actually be able to come up, raise my hand, and say, I think I did this by doing this action, which meant that we saved not just money, but time as well. Because if I tried to hide and deny that I did anything wrong, it would have taken hours, and I can't even imagine the cost and even the kind of reputation damage that it could do. So it not only saves money, but it makes people more bold and fosters experimentation and faster development cycles. But of course, you can't just say, do whatever you want. So I had to do a thorough research that I had to then present to the whole of leadership, which back then, and probably even now, would be absolutely terrifying. But so what I would like to say is that you need to take the responsibility as a person, but as a company, you shouldn't punish people for failure. You should make them learn from it and learn from it as a company. So the main learning here would be, if you're a person, don't be afraid to be bold and try things out. And as a company, don't punish people for doing the wrong thing. Just make sure that no one does the wrong thing again a second time. Thank you.